We will be live streaming here on YouTube in just a moment. And then we'll go ahead and get started. All right, everybody. So we are live here on YouTube and we are all over the internet today. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you so we can jump right into the presentation. We know a lot of you are out showing homes today, which is wonderful. We'll try to keep this brief if you are trying to enjoy the day. Couple housekeeping items first to share with you. Number one, on Monday night, this coming Monday, it's Money Mondays. We are talking about all the advantages you have here at Exit, your Exit Toolkit, the Exit Strategy Project X Toolkit stack on top of that. A reminder of how to hopefully get you into the highest split possible, have you cap out and enjoy residual income. My goal is as many of you as possible to get to that 100% commission or more. And a lot of things to catch you up on Monday night. It's going to be a great review for everybody. So that's Monday night at 8 p.m. Then we jump into some other stuff you don't even know about yet for the coming weeks. Investors Club is back. So we have not done Investors Club over the summer. We have that big scavenger sale we're participating in. Of course, that took up a lot of time earlier in the year, but we are back for Investors Club on Wednesday, the 21st. We're going to do it once a month. We're going to really dive back into Investors Club well beyond just that scavenger sale we are participating in. I'll have, of course, updates on the scavenger sale for you, but that is part of our overall Wealth and Health Wednesdays. Of course, we have Money Mondays, Find Out Fridays. Eve has Ask Us Anything. You have so much access to stuff. It's great. But Investors Club came back for the fall as a result of some great feedback I got during our boating yesterday. We had a wonderful old school mix of great agents on the boat yesterday. And so that is Wednesday, the 21st at 1 p.m. We will, of course, record that as well. So if you can't make it in person, because this will be an in-person class, we're going to be doing land contracts, lease purchases, lease options, all the different ways that you and your investors may be thinking of getting out of the box solutions to things. Speaking of the boat, we have spots open for that afternoon boating party on September 22nd. We also have the next in our consumer education series on Wednesday, September 28th. It is kind of investor focused in a way, but also for everybody, how to invest in parking spaces. Is that a thing that you might want to be interested in as a consumer or as a agent even? So that's going to be a great session. We will have the graphic out to you this afternoon, the Eventbrite. That's our consumer education series piece for the month. And that is Wednesday, September 28th in the evening at 7 p.m. But we're not done yet with new stuff for you. We are also doing back to vision boards. We have not done a vision board party in a long time. That's going to be at my house for Exit Strategy agents. That is on Friday, the 7th. So first Fridays, we're back for the fall. We always in the summertime tend to do a lot of fun outdoor stuff. You get busy with the market. Let's get back into that fall focus. So that is Friday, October 7th at 6 p.m. at my house. We haven't had anything at my house in a while. Then we're not done yet. One more piece, October 19th, Wednesday, October 19th at 1 p.m. Investors Club. We're going to have a little clinic on wholesaling. There's lots of questions. Some people don't know what it is. Other people are like, well, is that even a thing? It is a thing. We want you to understand the pluses and minuses, the pros and cons, how to navigate it. Again, both for yourself and your clients. So that is Wednesday, the 19th of October at 1 p.m. You will get invites to each one of these things individually. I can't send out more than one invite a day. So the first big one that we'll send out to you is the graphic and the Eventbrite and the text codes for the consumer education series event. But all of these are going to be really great. That's not why we're here today, is it, guys? We are here today to talk about buyer and seller reports, particularly on the buy side. So we've done over and over again, we talked about how to do a CloudCMA. And CloudCMA is one of two tools I want to explore with you today, but more for when you're in an area that maybe I'm going to make my screen a little bigger. When you're in an area that maybe you're not super familiar with, or an area that your client isn't super familiar with, or it's a brand new client you've never met before. What do you do in advance of that first time out? You can use this for sellers as well to kind of do a pre-listing report. But I really wanted to focus today, especially on the buy side of it. So I always try to do live real world examples. I am out there in the marketplace with you, working with buyers and sellers, even though I'm really on referral only and are not taking on a huge amount of new clients anymore. I still like to keep fresh with you. So not only as an investor, but as a agent. And I'm noticing a lot of you are working in some areas that maybe it isn't right next to your house. So you don't know exactly, well, where's the best restaurants? Where are the schools? And I want you to have a better picture before you meet that client for the first time, because we know this market is slowing down. And because the market is slowing down and it's more of a balanced market, every opportunity you have to not only make a great first impression, but retain that client is going to be huge. And we have some tools for you right in our local MLS that are huge. And there's some additional pieces that, of course, Exit has for you as well. So I'm going to go into that a specific property that I'm showing tomorrow. It's out in Fox Lake. This is a past client of mine. They are wonderful folks. I'm so excited to be working with them on a second property. I sold them a new construction years ago. We've always stayed in touch. They're good friends. And I'm going to go out and show them something in Fox Lake. I've boated on Fox Lake. I've been to Fox Lake, showed a couple properties around there over the years. Not exactly where I live, right? So, but I'm definitely going to service this client because I'm super excited. They are looking at a property that they may want to Airbnb, use as a vacation home. They actually attended our consumer education series online for that event that we had back in, I believe, March, in our monthly education series for consumers, talking all about vacation and second homes. So guys, sometimes something when you do them and people attend, or they say, well, send me the video or send me some notes, 6-9 months later, you could be working with that client, sometimes years later. So stay in touch. So this is the property that I'm going to be showing them in Fox Lake tomorrow. And it is right on the lake. So really, really cool little property, not huge in terms of size, but what am I going to send them in advance? Am I just going to stroll up to that property tomorrow and have no idea what I'm doing? Of course not. Of course not. I want to give them some information in advance. But have I seen this property yet? No. Have they seen the property yet? No. So how can I give them a CMA in advance? I really can't give them a market analysis, and nor would I want to give people a market analysis on every single property we see before we see it. I'd probably never get to the home, right? Neither would you. But I want to paint a nice picture on the way in of, hey, this is what's going on in the area. This is what this property history is, et cetera, and also give them a little extra flavor, just reminders to why to work with me. So we have two tools we're going to talk about again. Before we even go into either one of those, if you've ever hopefully clicked on additional information, you do have some pieces on here that I want you to see that I don't hear a lot of people talking about. One of which is, this is actually a little bit more valuable later on towards like a closing. If you ever need utility info, et cetera, click on city info. It'll do a nice pop-up of which township it's in, the library, utilities for the area. A lot of people ask, well, how do I get my trash picked up? Things like that. The school district information, just super, super easy little things. You're probably not going to need that on the way in, but it's information for later. Realtor.com professional searches, there is some value to that. There's a little bit of community reports, et cetera, but they're not very attractive when they're not visually stimulating. And so I really wanted to go into the tools that I would prefer you use. And again, you can always use whatever you want, but CloudCMA, remember, CloudCMA is a tool that is free for you to use. And then also why I love it is that it really paints an overall picture of you as the agent, if you set it up right. And also, of course, it works with our Wise Agent CRM. So Friday Out Fridays has been dominated lately in our office by Wise Agent because we love it so much. There is a complete interaction between Wise Agent and CloudCMA. It's the only CRM product that integrates with a CMA product, and that's the CMA product that they really love, and I do too. So great serendipitous things. So let's go ahead and do a CloudCMA on this property. So this is the first of the two tools. If I go ahead and click on it, now remember, this is it's not necessarily a CMA, it's more of a property report. So you've got two options here. If you go into the property report specifically for that property, or if you're going to create a tour. Now, the reason why I'm not going to create a tour is right in our amazing consumer app, Zenlist, which is we're one of only a few brokerages to have that paid for each one of you. Zenlist has the broker tours, and it's a much more interactive thing. So don't send them another tour in addition to setting them up in Zenlist on the property tour. But there is some great additional information. So if you click on a property report, it's going to be specific to that property. And I'm going to just click, I'm going to give you not their full information because I'm going to send this to them later separately. And so it's just for that one listing. And then it's going to set up where you can customize that report. So the value isn't in showing them just a map. The value is in what's in the report. So in CloudCMA, you have all these different options in order to customize the report. I don't think necessarily that you need to send everything that was in there. A list, you'll notice where it says additional content, and I don't have selected all these other additional like testimonial sources, but there's one just directly from Zillow, which is nice. It loads up your Zillow reviews if you have them. If not, you can take them out. But it does have some additional information on schools, restaurants, etc. And that's what I like. And then in addition to that, you can add custom pages. Now, I have a whole video already, a webinar that I've done with you, and I can show you again over and over. I'm happy to what I would put in as custom pages. Every single one of these custom pages, digital seller guide, digital buyer guide, all the exit ad center stuff and different things we would do for sellers. We don't necessarily need those. We don't need those today because remember, we're not working with a seller today. We're working with a buyer on one specific property. And I'm going to go ahead, though. I will add the digital buyer guide, which, of course, those come from Exit to you. I'm going to attach that as a PDF. And, of course, if you forget what those look like, there they are right there. They are just absolutely beautiful. Can't say enough about the digital buyer and seller guides. So that is something that right there, if you're just sending, you're printing out an MLS sheet and bringing it to them. Number one, you're killing trees, but that, that's another topic for another day. It's just like an MLS sheet. It doesn't tell you too much. Look what this does when you set up this digital buyer guide and everything else in it. When you go ahead and you publish that report, and by the way, there's another new piece out that Exit donates over 6.8 million to charity. Well, you remember what Daily Dose was yesterday, guys. It's now over 7 million. There's a new PDF out that I will share in the coaching blog today. So I'm super excited about that. That might be a nice thing to add to. We do so much as a company and as an office for people. I sometimes, when I'm first meeting people, like to remind them way down in the little extra links they can have what that's going to look like for them. So you can go ahead. The difference with the published property report, the property report doesn't have a live link. It's one thing I'm not 100% a big fan of. It doesn't have a live link because there's no CMA component to it. So you can go ahead and you can email the report to them, or you can send a copy of the PDF link, and you can literally text that to them. So I'm on my desktop, of course, right now. That might be a great option. But let's go ahead and take a look at what it looks like. So there is the property report, which is all the pictures of the property, a little bit more about yours truly, property details, all the photos of the property. Now, here's some cool stuff. What schools are by? And these are actually hyperlinks in the PDF so they can see all the different schools. And then all the nearest restaurants that if you click on the link. So for example, I'm kind of hungry for a great Mexican grill lunch today. You pop on that and it goes into that specific restaurant. So kind of cool little stuff for you. But let's go into a little bit more of the meat and potatoes. So there's the property stuff right there. It does have, if you add that piece, all your Zillow reviews, which I do like that. And that is a live updated Zillow review. And then of course, here is all the additional information that you're probably not going to print out for them, but it's nice to send them as a electronic PDF. Now, that's just for one property. What if you were going to go in and say, okay, well, I do want to know what's going on in the area, and I think they should too. Let me know. Let me show you how to do it that way instead. And of course, what that's going to be is that is going to be a what we call a quick and dirty CMA. So we're going to go back into Connect MLS. We're going to click on CloudCMA from that property, and we're going to create a new CMA. So, okay, I told you we weren't going to talk about seller reports, but a CloudCMA can be a very quick idea for a buyer of what's going on in the area as well. So we're going to again say L&L, and then the property address, 37 Lakeside. You do have to put that in. And then it's going to auto-populate a little bit of tax information. A lot of times the tax information is wrong. So look, it says 3 bedrooms. They don't even have the bedrooms in the tax information. Looks like 2.5 baths and a lot more square footage than what they're saying there. So we're going to probably just not touch on that too much, but let's do this though. At least let's do some listings near the subject property so we can have some sort of idea of what's going on in the neighborhood. So let's go ahead and fetch those listings. And the nice thing with this report is this one does have, I'm not going to set a price because remember, I'm not doing any sales today with them. It does give you an idea of recent sales in the area. So if you look at this one, this particular property, this one is newly on the market. A lot of other things in the area have sold for less, but remember, this is on the lake. So I'm probably not going to do too much here in terms of property comparisons, etc. So let's go ahead and customize this report. I could have taken out those low ones, but we'll let you do that later when you're ready. Default to all the different templates. So you've got a bunch of different pieces here that you can, of course, do. Let's go ahead and look at the CMA report, and you've got some different templates there. The theme is Exit Realty. It preloads all our good stuff. Layout, you've got some different options. I would do the photo with maximum data. Template, you can do a bunch of different versions of this. A buyer's CMA is a nice one to do. There is a built-in different options. Buyer's CMA is one of them. Let's go ahead and click on that. And so then that is a, map of all listings. There's the comparable properties around there. But then again, look what's not on there this time. It doesn't have that area report that I liked. So that may not be great for them to not do that, but it does have your branded information. So you've got options depending on how you know these people. If it's your first time out, I wouldn't flood them with too much information, but it might be nice to have a little piece of it there. And again, you can always do you can take out anything that you feel is not valuable. Let's see here, anything else that would be valuable as far as, I'm going to leave out the cover letters. Obviously not a seller's net sheet. And then I really don't see anything that's great around that area that would be valuable to them, but I'm going to go ahead and put in my digital buyer guide. And we're going to publish this report. So again, with the CMA, unlike the buyer tour or property report, the buyer tour, I believe, may have a link, and let's check out. We can do that as well. The buyer tour, if it has a live link, that would solve this problem. So that is creating that live link right there in the CMA. What I love about the live link is that it does have the option then to take things out, to move things around. And man, when you're out with your clients, even on their phone, look at all the different stuff it has then. Average pricing, online valuations, average price per square foot. So there's this, all the different stuff that we were talking about earlier that you can add to it. There's some good stuff in there and things that you can take out as well. So I don't necessarily love the CMA report for a buyer, but I wanted to show that to you one more time. Let's go into the CloudCMA one more time. I'm going to show you all the different options today in case you haven't explored. So we're going to go ahead and do a buyer tour, but we only have one property to show them, right? So not a huge amount of things to talk about in terms of navigation, but let's go ahead and fetch these listings. And then there is just that one, of course, because we're not showing them a bunch today. We're going to click on customize. And then if you look on analysis, there is that online valuation, which is kind of, I like that sometimes say, okay, well, here's what all these different algorithms think. And then look, there's all the schools in the area, restaurants, all that I enjoy. And look at some of this other piece of information that you can take out. So how long do you plan on staying? Get a home inspection. There's some cool stuff in there. And I'm going to go ahead and take out a few of these things that don't really count. And I'm going to go ahead and then publish that. And let's see if this one has the live link. I believe it should. Yeah, no live link there. Okay. Not crazy about this one either without the live link, but it does have that additional, all this information. Let's go ahead and take a look at the PDF. So 28 pages, that's a lot. I probably wouldn't print that out. But remember, this is the first time you're meeting some of these people, right? This is the first time you're meeting some of these people. So I think the more information you can give them, the better. And of course, they can have notes on there. Now, remember, a buyer tour in ZenList, all of this is electronic. And there are mapping features right in ZenList as well. So there's a good content right in ZenList if you want to just automate it through there. That is specific to our office. So there's some other places that really, they don't have some of that. Kind of cool stuff. Again, there's all your Zillow reviews right there if you choose to add that slide. So you can send that to them. Now, that's CloudCMA. That is everything in CloudCMA that you could possibly send them in 3 different formats. Let's talk about RPR. I never talk about RPR that much. I am starting to talk about it more. It is not in the Remind reports. Remind reports just don't have enough information or photos in them to me. I don't think those are great. There's HomeSnap. It's okay. It's very automated. It's not a lot of personal information about you. So if you go into the toolbar at the top here, if you go in the toolbar at the top, there's a tool called RPR, Realtors Property Resource. Let's go there. So Realtors Property Resource, it's for residential, it's for commercial. It is funded by your dues to the National Association of Realtors. So wouldn't you maybe want to check it out and use it? I love certain aspects of it. It's very meaty information. There's a lot. And sometimes you need to narrow that down. But so this is there's the property again. And look, there's different valuations that they've pulled up from different properties. You can create a CMA right in there. It's some good information about the area as well, some history of the property. So when they bought it, et cetera, and all of this is, in these links right here, there's some very nice information on the area as well. I mean, you can really almost over inform, but is there ever such a thing? You want to make sure though that if you are going to send a lot of information, that there's some really easy to read stuff at the front, because remember, I'm a big fan of the DISC test. There's 4 different personality types in the world. Some people are just going to roll and be like, Nick, tell me what you think. Other people are going to go, I don't know, Nick. I don't know who any of these people are in this transaction. I want information. And there's 2 other categories right in between. Are they visual learners? Are they statistical people? Are they going to want to do with their own due diligence? The more information you can give them, the better. But remember, not everybody loves 8,000 pieces of stats. So you've got to kind of feel that out with people, but also give them information in multiple ways. So let's go ahead and create a report. So there's another 28-page report. You've got different opportunities like a market activity report, a neighborhood report. So that's, you can see right there, you can customize it. Everything, by the way, in RPR already has your logo, all that good stuff. And then it will email to them as well. It's a report that expires in 30 days, but it will email them as well. And then you can see, okay, there's report elements. There's different things going on in the neighborhood, all that different pieces. I think that's a pretty good report. Right there, done for you. Okay, right there, done for you. So you've got some really good things right there. Let's click on, just in case, the market activity report as well. So no custom pages in that. I'm not going to really necessarily add them, but that's an option for you to add them right there as well. So market snapshots, 12 months estimated value. But remember, a lot of times you are going to a neighborhood that you aren't that familiar with either. you want to maybe do that for yourself. And I would say for them, do the neighborhood report. So I'm going to go ahead and email this to myself, so I can see. It's going to CC you anyway if you ask it to. And then that's going to pop up when it's ready. And then it's going to send an email as well. I'm going to look on my phone and see if that email is ready for me. And there we go. All right. So let me go ahead and forward this to myself. That way it'll be right on the screen where we need it. Perfect. All right. So you guys can see my screens. There are multiple things here. So there is the CloudCMA right there. And then there's going to be the other one popping up for the buyer tour from CloudCMA. And then there's going to be, and actually that is not what I wanted yet. That was a review request for a recent closing. Let's see here. So there is the CloudCMA buyers tour. And we already took a look at that. The Realtor.com one is taking a minute to load. So give me a moment. Live training. There it is. Good. So here it is, view and download report. So not too crazy different looking than the other one that we had. So a lot of information on the area. Maybe this is as a supplement you send afterwards. I don't know. Think about that. I'm not still quite in love with this versus the one from CloudCMA. So play with both of them and see which one you visually like the most. I do really like if you go into CloudCMA and doing that, you've got the property report, which is one, but then that CMA report, that's that live link. I really like that live link to walk people through different pieces of information. So at any point with the live link, you can take out something that you don't want in there. So in terms of the comparables, watch this. I've shown this to you guys before. So there's one that, okay, I know that is an old comp, and that's also doesn't look anything like that property, and it's not on the water. Take that comp out, and automatically it adjusts your comparables. So there's one on the water. There's that one that is not great. Let's take that out. And so now we've got our comps adjusted. Let's go up to the average pricing and see now your price is taken out, those two comps that are gone, and the average prices went up. So that's kind of educating them a little bit more. You can also send a property history report through RPR. So let me go into that report. I don't know what that noise was, guys. Someone entering the room, I'm not sure. And so you can, again, do the property specific report. Let's go ahead and look at that one and see if that has a little bit more of that information we're looking for. So there's the pictures of the home. There's the property photos. I'm a little bit more of a fan of that. So let's go ahead and send the property reports, because there's your neighborhood information we were looking for. There's some really good information on that. But it also has the exact, and there's the schools. So still no restaurants and stuff like that, though. Now, one more option for you. I'm going to muddy the water slightly, as I'm known to do from time to time. I do want to go into Zenlist. Because Zenlist, if you're already setting up your tours right through there anyway. So I've got a tour today and I've got a tour tomorrow. Here's what's cool on Zenlist. You click on the property and this is exactly what your client sees, except minus the agent information. They can make the notes. They can do all that good stuff. Of course, it has the private listing network listings as well. You've got history of the property. Also, mortgage details. The mortgage calculator is live based on today's information and an average of today's rates, which is huge. A lot of my clients have really liked that. And then one of the other big features is right there live from their phone, from their app, they've got a view. And so the view right there, you can choose to do it as a map view. You can also choose to do it as a street view. So they can figure out what's nearby, what restaurants, what nightlife, whatever actually is up to them. So if you're sending school information and this is a single person, guys, probably not really, hey, let's remind them they're single. I don't know. Not maybe what they were looking for. And or if you're sending bar and nightlife information, they don't go out at all. Some people want to know public transportation, and that's a big deal for them. Other people, they have their own car. They want to know if there's a garage, and that's it. I don't know sometimes what my clients want when I'm new, because remember, when they're new to me, because remember, I haven't met them yet. So a lot of what today's training is meant to do is get as much information as possible out to them quickly. We're only, minus the time we did to talk about upcoming events, we're 22 minutes into this. So what that's telling me is that in 20 minutes, you can at least prepare your client, your new client, with a little bit of information before you walk into a property. You could think of it this way. You could send them the buyer tour on the way in. So there's that buyer tour. Nice thing about the area, I think the buyer tour in CloudCMA might be a great thing to send them about the area. And then if they like it, let's go ahead and do a market analysis. Now, that also gives you a reason to follow up afterwards. That is an option for you, but remember, you might want to, for yourself, do a neighborhood report just to kind of get a little bit of background for yourself, or send them both in advance. If they are shopping agents, remember, I feel like we're permanently running for mayor. Brian Buffini talks about the mayor campaign. Brian Buffini is a great coach. I use the core training. That's who I'm coached by, and exit strategy agents have access to that coaching. But those guys both left the same coaching program and started their own coaching programs the same day. So there's a lot of similarities. And Brian Buffini says, you're always running for mayor. You are always running for mayor, and there's always going to be a new opponent. You have to always be out there showing your best face and be very visible. And in real estate, that is providing value. The more you send them, and they can tell you later on, like anything else, you know what, I didn't need that. I didn't need that particular report. If you send them stuff on the way in that educates them a lot, it shows them, A, you do know the area, or you know how to find out information, and B, a lot of agents are not doing any of this. They are rolling up to the property late, not looking like they've even, considered this is probably the biggest investment these people are ever going to make in their life. And show up early, show up with great statistics, show up with information, send it to them in advance. Because I'll tell you, the more you send them in advance, the more likely they actually are to show up, or at least give you the courtesy of a, hey, I'm running late, or you know what, today's not a good day after all. Take less no-shows, more likelihood that they're actually going to use you, and refer you after the sale. Refer you after the sale. That's another big deal. Is the better you can make your part of the process for them, you are really, it's a compound effect between a higher rate of return on your time in terms of number of closings, the conversion rate, and then also after that, a great review and more and higher referrals from them. This is a no-brainer, guys. This took 20 minutes for us to do together. You have multiple options depending on which tool you think is easiest / best. And again, I think the more you do right in CloudCMA, the better. However, if you want to explore a second tool for this, I would absolutely use RPR. It has got more information than almost anywhere else. You're paying for it. And you will continue to see more training from me on RPR, because I am going through the process of hopefully getting certified as a trainer with them on this. Because RPR is, if you are listening from other areas and you're like, our MLS doesn't have CloudCMA, we're very thankful that MRAD does. RPR is nationwide, everyone. RPR is nationwide. And by the way, everyone, you have access to this tool for other areas outside your MLS. So if you are in an area where like, well, I'm curious for me, you know, I'm going up to Michigan for the weekend. I'm not personally, but I'm using this as an example. I'd like to know more information. Doesn't mean you're a licensed agent in that state, but it does mean you have information, at least for yourself, if you are wanting to explore a new area for your own investment. So incredible, powerful tool in RPR. CloudCMA, I can't say enough about because it's right in our MLS. At Exit Strategy, you will have in the coaching blog that new document. So if you want to add that to your CloudCMA, let me show you how to do that. And actually, as a matter of fact, I will download it right now and do that. Our amazing support team at corporate sent me this just now. This is the new $7 million flyer. I'm just so excited about that. $7 million to charity from Exit Realty International. Automatically happens as part of each transaction. And also at our office, can you believe it? We will soon be at almost $5 million in real residual bonuses generated just from our office. I can't wait for that flyer from us. But in the meantime, you've got that cool graphic I showed you guys yesterday. And for this one, let me show you how to put it in your CMA report. So I downloaded it. This really probably you need to do on a desktop or a laptop, like where I'm at today. And then once you've downloaded that to your desktop or laptop, click on, you've got account settings. And let's go ahead and start there. Account settings, just make sure that everything is correct. All the good stuff right there. And then also you'll notice integrations. You knew you weren't going to get out of here without me talking about Wise Agent. If you scroll down to the bottom, your API key, you copy that and put that into Wise Agent under integrations where it talks about CloudCMA. So wink, wink, one thing on Wise Agent today, guys. But here is the custom pages feature. I'm going to go ahead and take out the old one where we'd only given 6.8 million. And I like this new graphic color. Anyway, you're going to start to see a lot more black and teal in all our stuff because they're really, I think that is coming more and more the preferred dominant graphic versus a little bit of that green. So let's go ahead and add that. $7 million for charity. I love that. So then let's go ahead and I've got to do it a different way. Hold on. Custom PDF pages. Upload PDF. See me making mistakes. Okay. Trial and error, my friends. There we go. There's the flyer. And then that way, every time you do any sort of CMA, buyer tour, property report, that can be added. And I just think that is such a nice thing. And all these other ones in here, if you're like, well, what are those? Your digital buyer and seller presentations you download right from the Resource Center. And I would love to have a Find Out Fridays on that, wouldn't you? I'd love to do that with you guys soon. But for today, that is the only thing you need to know for account settings. Just add that in, that custom one. That will be in the coaching blog along with all the other ones in here. The only other ones that are not in here, the Exit Digital Buyer and Digital Seller Guides, because those come directly from your Exit Resource Center. And you know what? I will see if there's no questions. So what I'm going to do is, at least if you're watching this on the YouTube channel, we love it. Please subscribe. I do stuff constantly on YouTube now. Let me go ahead. If you are an exit agent anywhere else besides Exit Strategy, you may even add Exit Strategy and you just haven't gotten stuck listening to me for a while. I'm going to go ahead and open one more browser window here. And I'm going to show you how to download those directly from the Resource Center. So you go into Resource Center, and then you click on the Exitize Me spot. It's up at the top, and it's also down on the bottom. And you can go into Exit Presentations. And then I would do just maybe a generic one. So you can see I've got one called Nick Leibert's Seller Guide to Exit, Nick Leibert's Buyer and Investor Guide. And you can then click on View and see right where it says generate PDF. That's where you're going to download it. And guys, they are just beautiful, the buyer and seller guides. Can't say enough about them. Can't say enough about the people at corporate that are making our technology better by the day. Always something cool with them. Thank you guys for being here. I know a few people had to drop off at 12:30. I got a text message. Sorry, I'm trying to do my best to get through this for you in a timely fashion. If we want to do a follow-up, a one-on-one, a small group, let me know. I am happy to do that. I have plenty of time in person, by Zoom, whatever's good for you. So you guys, thank you very much for being here today, and I will see you all soon. Have a wonderful